I always thought mirrors only reflected the truth. That was, until I saw my reflection smiling back at me while my own face was streaked with tears. It began with small gestures, a slow, deliberate blink, a single finger raised to its lips in a hushing motion. Then one night, the reflection stepped out, and it whispered, "Now, I'm Maya." Maya opened the large wooden crate, a delivery from a distant relative she barely knew. Inside, nestled in layers of old linen, was a full-length mirror. It wasn't ornate, but possessed a haunting and melancholic beauty. The dark mahogany frame was carved with strange patterns, not flowers or leaves, but endless spirals, like vortices, pulling everything inward. The glass wasn't modern. It was old, slightly bubbled and cloudy gray, making the reflection seem ethereal, as if veiled in a thin mist. Her boyfriend, Liam, a pragmatic architect, regarded it with apprehension. "Are you sure? It's so old it looks unclean." But Maya, an artist with a keen intuition, was captivated. "It has a soul, Liam. Look at these carvings. It's perfect for the corner of my studio." They placed the mirror in Maya's studio, a spacious room flooded with natural light from a large window. Immediately, the atmosphere shifted. The light seemed to be swallowed by the mirror, casting the room in a deeper gloom despite the sun outside. Maya dismissed it as the dark wood. She didn't know that the darkness emanated not from the frame, but from the glass itself. The first incident occurred a few days later. Maya was painting when she glanced up and saw her reflection holding a different brush, dabbing at an invisible canvas. She looked down at her own hand. It was limp at her side. When she looked back, the reflection was normal again, mirroring her own baffled expression. Just a hallucination, she told herself, blaming overwork. But the anomalies continued. Sometimes, out of the corner of her eye, she'd see the reflection move a beat slower than she did. Once, as she wept over a canceled commission, her reflection did not. It was smiling, a mocking, cruel smirk. Liam began to notice a change. She grew irritable, distant. At night, he would hear whispers coming from the studio. He assumed she was on the phone, but when he entered, he would find her sitting silently before her easel, her eyes glazed over, staring blankly at the mirror. "Maya, who are you talking to?" he asked. She startled, turning to him. "No one, just talking to myself, working through a new piece." But her eyes never met his. One night, Maya awoke with a thirst. As she walked downstairs, she saw a light on in the studio. Thinking she'd forgotten to turn it off, she went to the door. It was slightly ajar. Maya peered through the crack, and the blood froze in her veins. In the studio, standing before the mirror, was a woman. It wasn't a reflection. It was a physical entity. She was uncannily identical to Maya, the same face, the same hair, but with a subtle, chilling difference. Her eyes were cold steel, her smile a portrait of malice and self-satisfaction. The Maya in the mirror was standing there, holding Maya's paintbrush and painting on the glass. But the liquid she used wasn't paint. It was thick, black, and in the lamplight it glistened like dried blood. "Soon," the doppelganger whispered, her voice a chilling echo of Maya's, but with a grating, resonant undertone. "Soon, I will no longer be trapped in this glass prison, and you will take my place." Maya stumbled backward, knocking over a box of paints. The clatter echoed in the silent house. The thing in the studio whipped its head around, its eyes locking with Maya's through the crack in the door. It smiled, a grin that stretched unnaturally wide, revealing teeth that were too sharp. Maya screamed and ran. After hearing Maya's hysterical story, Liam decided to investigate. He tracked down the relative who had sent the mirror. The old man, after a long silence, told him a horrifying tale. That mirror was crafted in the 17th century by a mad alchemist, he said, his voice trembling. He believed every mirror retains a fragment of the soul of those who gaze into it. He created this one to trap the soul of a twin, two sisters, identical. He wanted a perfect copy. The older sister, Elara, was imprisoned within the glass. The younger, Anya, lived in terror for the rest of her days. Elara's soul is trapped, festering with resentment. It endlessly seeks a new body to escape. It erodes the will of its owner, mimics them, and when the likeness is perfect, it seizes their life, forcing the true soul into the mirror to suffer an eternity of imprisonment. Liam's face was pale. How do we destroy it? The old man shook his head. You can't. It's cursed. Destroying the mirror will only release the spirit, and it will find a new vessel. The only way is to trick it. The spirit grows stronger through similarity. She has to become different. She has to renounce herself, so she is no longer its reflection. Returning home, Liam found a completely changed Maya. She was sitting before the mirror, conversing with her reflection as if it were a dear friend. Her voice, her mannerisms, they were already tainted with Elara's essence, sharp, cynical. Maya, you have to fight it, Liam pleaded, grabbing her shoulders. She turned, her eyes cold. Maya? Who is Maya? I am Elara, and I have waited too long. Liam knew Elara's control was almost absolute. He remembered the old man's words. She has to renounce herself. It was a terrible sacrifice. He had to make Maya stop being Maya. He began his desperate campaign. He cut the internet, threw away all of Maya's photographs.
He systematically constructed a false history, shattering the self-image Maya had built, the very image Elara was mimicking. Maya, or the entity possessing her, grew frantic. Why are you lying? I'm a painter. No, you're not, Liam screamed, feigning rage. You never knew how to paint. You were just a pathetic copycat. The psychological war raged for days. Liam was close to succeeding. Maya's personality began to fracture, replaced by a confused, chaotic void. And strangely, the reflection in the mirror began to blur, its form distorting. Elara was losing the template she was mimicking. But Liam had underestimated Elara's cunning. One night, a noise from the studio awakened him. He ran downstairs to find Maya, standing before the mirror, a shard of broken glass in her hand. The reflection was nearly gone, just a faint, ghostly shimmer. I've won, Liam, Maya said, her voice a horrifying blend of her own and Elara's. I've broken it. But as she turned to face him, Liam saw that the innocent light in her eyes was gone. In its place was the cold, calculating mind of Elara. She had faked her breakdown to deceive him, and now Maya's true personality had been completely erased. Elara had won. No, Maya! Liam lunged for her. Elara, she corrected him with a faint smile, sidestepping him. My name is Elara, and thank you. Thanks to you, I have this perfect body, unbound by the memories of that mediocre human. She advanced on Liam, no longer frail. Now you will be the first to appreciate my true talent. Liam looked at her hand.
The shard of glass wasn't for the mirror. It was a weapon. He backed away, but it was too late.
A year later, an art exhibition shocked the art world. A new artist named Elara displayed a collection of paintings so chillingly vivid, so viscerally real in their depictions of torture and suffering, that they were impossible to forget. Rumor had it that sometimes in the large glass panes of the gallery, viewers could catch a glimpse of another woman's reflection, her face a mask of terror and despair, beating her hands against the glass, screaming silently for help, but no one ever heard. And Elara, watching from a distance, would only smile at the reflection, as if admiring a masterpiece. As for Liam, he had simply vanished, just another of the mirror's countless victims across the centuries.